It's Cody Jr. back to add on more to your day. You know, we gotta talk about what just happened yesterday. The two games were as follows: Alabama, Michigan, and Texas versus Washington. Now, I have an interesting record with predicting games this season. I picked Georgia to defeat Alabama, was wrong. Then I picked Georgia to beat Florida State, was right. Then I picked Alabama to beat Michigan. And well, the game is over. Well, the team scored a total of 47 points. I had this team scoring a total of 49 points, so I did pretty well of that. But my final score was off. I had Alabama winning 26-23. And 24, 26-24. So I actually had the game being 50 points. So I was off by 3. Milroe couldn't score touchdowns through the air. McClellan was really good, but Jason McCarthy was looking really nice. Blake Corum is awesome as always. He was actually favorite for most of the game. They were controlling the game a lot. More total yards, same amount of turnovers. It was 100%. Literally, the seats were filled for this game. Maybe I thought Alabama were going to win was because of the skill difference and the coaching. And, well, I don't think Saban made any bad calls until the end of the game. It was a really weird option play where Milroe decided to run right up the middle. Like, I just don't agree with that play. You run right up the middle. There was open space for you to run to the right, and there was a check down option. But instead, he just runs for no gain, and Michigan wins. I also like to mention that Milroe only averaged 3 yards per carry. If a QB is averaging any less than 6 yards per carry in the game, it's probably not very good. Because you're a QB, most of the QB running should be for good reason and not just the run. It feels like he's had that happen a lot. Can we see his rushing stats? Like how many yards per carry he has this season? Only 3.3. Well, I guess when he runs as much as a running back, it's not that surprising. I don't know. Milroe's a weird QB, and honestly, he's not a championship winning QB. He's someone who focuses on his running game. When his running game can't get going, he can't really throw that well either. And he doesn't really have the receivers. No, I'm not going to say his receivers suck. I'm not going to say that because it's just not true. But they're not the level that Jalen Waddle, Devontae Smith, Julio Jones, even Jameson Williams were. They're just not that level. And with Michigan's defense, it's going to be really hard for those receivers to get open. I really like Michigan today. Not today, yesterday. They were really great offensively and defensively. When they needed to score to pull up points, they did so. They fumbled a lot, but they actually didn't lose any except for one of them. A lot of sacks, but, it happens with Alabama a lot. 6 with 10 tackles for loss is very good. It's great to see Michigan's defense playing like this. It's usually pretty good, but they haven't been able to make it to the championship until this year. Now, final thoughts. Alabama now hasn't won a championship for 3 years in a row. Which for Alabama is very bad. For any college football team, that's literally what happens normally. Michigan finally makes it to the playoffs. Let's see if they can finish the job as the number 1 seed. Now the next game, a game I picked almost perfectly. I picked Washington to beat Texas 38-31. They defeated Texas 37-31. Now, I am very happy for Penix. He's one of my favorite QBs in this year's draft class. Actually, maybe my favorite QB in general. And I'm very happy to see him going to a championship game. Also like Roman Dunze. And really like Washington this year. They're probably the team out of these 4 I like the most. Because Michigan, they cheated. Alabama's Georgia's main rival. Well, not really main rival, but they're their toughest opponent. And then Texas is kind of just a team that I don't really care about. But they'll be in the SEC next year, so you have even more reason to not like them. Washington was winning, almost allowed a comeback, but they eventually shut Texas down for the win because of a kind of odd pass by Ewers, because one guy said they should have bulleted it instead, but he lofted it up there to A.D. Mitchell, which makes it so the 2 receivers that transferred out of Georgia to these big colleges, Texas and Alabama, both of them did not make the championship, but they made championships when they were with Georgia. I just want to say that. Alright, it's time to just review the stats a little bit. Quentin Ewers was really good, but you want to see more completed passes. And what else? Really good run game. Ewers was great. Baxter and Blue were amazing. Tavion Sanders was actually their best receiver. But A.D. Mitchell had their only passing touchdown. A lot of fumbles, but they only lost 2. Well, there's just a lot of fumbles in these games, honestly. Jalen Ford let them in tackles. They had no sacks, only 3 tackles for loss. They could not keep Washington behind the line of scrimmage. Michael Penix, almost a perfect QB rating, plus over 400. I really like Penix. He had an amazing game. Sadly, he didn't win Heisman, but literally LSU was Heisman hunting. The run game wasn't amazing, but they did get 2 rushing touchdowns for Dylan Johnson. Penix was decent on the run game. Odunze and Polk were both amazing. Polk scoring a touchdown. Jalen McMillan also had a receiving touchdown. They only had 1 fumble and 1 loss. They also recovered 2 of Texas's. Line of scrimmage, they didn't have many sacks either with 2, but also 5 tackles for loss is a lot more than what Texas had. 8 passes defense too. Their defense was really nice, especially because defense isn't really their strength. I'm not saying their defense is bad, but when you think of defense, you think of Ohio State this year specifically. You think of Ohio State, you think of Michigan, you think of Alabama, you think of Georgia. You don't really think of Washington. So it's nice to see them play some good defense at the end of the game to seal the victory. Now, I almost picked this game perfectly, but I didn't. So, yeah, I think I'm doing pretty good with predictions so far. I think a day or 2 before the game, I'll be doing my Michigan versus Washington prediction. And that'll be really fun. But, final words for this game. Really nice game by Texas. They'll be hanging to the SEC. This is maybe their best chance to make it to the playoffs because they're going against the hardest conference in college football now. And for Washington, after this, they'll be leaving the Pac-2. I don't know where they're going, though. I have to search it up. Are they going to the Big 12 or Big 10? We'll see. But, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed my review of these games. And tell me what you think about your predictions. Were they right or were they wrong? And who you think is going to win the Washington-Michigan game? See you guys later. Adios.